Kamusta mga kaibigan? Welcome to Josh Friends, where faith meets friendship and inspiration is just a conversation away. This is Reverend Migs Ramirez, and today we are joined by a special guest who's ready to share some words of wisdom from your favorite books and songs from Jesuit Communications. This might just be exactly what you need to hear. So, sit back, relax, and let's dive into another episode of heartwarming stories and uplifting messages. Are you ready? Let's go!
Hi mga kaibigan! I'm Ailee Canlas-Zapata, and today I want to share something really special with you. You know, as a mom and creative writing graduate student sa UP Diliman, I spend a lot of time thinking about stories, how they shape us, how they change us, how they help us understand life better. But between juggling thesis writing and taking care of my family, finding time for spiritual reading used to feel like another task on my endless to do list. But these three books from JesCom, they changed everything for me. As someone who studies literature, I'm pretty particular about the books I spend time with. And trust me, these aren't just ordinary religious books. They're companions that help me find God in the middle of my crazy schedule. Let me start with But Only Say the Word by Father Arnel Aquino. You know those rare moments of quiet when your baby is finally asleep and you're just trying to make sense of your day? That's when I usually read this book. Father Arnel has this way of writing that feels like he's right there having kape with you, understanding your mom guilt, your student stress, your everyday struggles. There was this one reflection about finding God in chaos that really hit home. Kasi 'di ba, as a mom, chaos is your default setting. But Father Arnel helped me see that even in those messy moments, yes, even during tantrum times, God is present. As a writer, I appreciate how he weaves profound truths into everyday stories. It's honestly something I aspire to do in my own fiction writing. Now, Balik Lantaw by Father Mateo Sanchez. This book speaks to me on so many levels. As someone working on a thesis about narratives and personal histories, Father Matt's diary entries about his life with the Umayam non community are just powerful. His dedication made me reflect on my own life choices. Here I am, sometimes complaining about deadline stress. Then I read about someone who gave decades of his life serving others. You know what really struck me? How he documented everything, the small victories, the challenges, the daily miracles. It reminded me that our ordinary lives, when dedicated to something bigger than ourselves, become extraordinary stories worth telling. And then there's Catholic Comedy Libruh by Romar Chuca. Guys, as someone who spends hours reading heavy literary texts for grad school, this book is such a breath of fresh air. Sometimes I read it during my lunch breaks at the UP library, and I have to stop myself from laughing out loud. Romar shows that faith can be fun, that spirituality doesn't have to be all serious theological discussions. And honestly, that's exactly what I needed to remember between these academic papers and mommy duties. This book reminds me to find joy in my faith journey. As we approach 2025, I look at these three books on my bedside table. Yes, right next to my thesis drafts. And I'm grateful. They're not just books, they're different voices speaking to different parts of my life. When mom life and grad school feel overwhelming, Father Arnel's reflections ground me. When I need inspiration for my own writing, Father Matt's authentic storytelling inspires me. And when everything feels too serious, Romer's humor lifts my spirit. Sa mga fellow parents dyan trying to balance everything, sa mga students pursuing their dreams, sa lahat ng trying to keep their faith alive in their busy lives. These books are for you. Visit jescom.ph/Josh to get your copies. Sometimes between diaper changes and thesis revisions, you'll find exactly the words you need to hear. I'd love to hear your stories too. Share your journey with these books using hashtag JoshFriends. Maybe we can encourage each other as we navigate this beautiful mess of life, faith, and everything in between. Salamat for listening, mga kaibigan. This is Ailee signing off. Time to get back to my thesis. Remember, sometimes the right book finds us exactly when we need it the most.
Maraming salamat, kaibigan. That wraps up another episode of Josh Friends. I hope today's reading touched your heart and gave you something to reflect on. Remember, you can find the full text of what we shared today, along with many other inspirational resources, at the JesCom online shop. Until next time, this is Reverend Migs Ramirez reminding you that you are never alone on your journey of faith. Paalam at ingat, mga kaibigan!